flutists, I've got a prediction. I have looked through the TMEA All-State Etudes for the past 9-10 years, and there's not very many patterns, but there's a couple. And I have a little bit of a prediction. So I went through on YouTube and looked up what were the etudes that were assigned back through 2014. And I noticed that in that span, one of this year included, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, only 3 etudes showed up twice. Okay, so we have from the Mary Karen Clardy Etudes book, numbers 41, 27, and 35 showed up twice. Numbers 41 and 27 were both lyrical etudes. They showed up 6 years apart. 41 showed up in 2017 and 2023. Etude number 27 showed up in 2015 and 2021. And then etude number 35 was more of a technical etude, and it showed up in 2014 and 2023. So 2021, 2023 are years in which they have had some repetition, which those are odd numbered years. So there's a chance I could be completely wrong and nothing will be recycled this coming year, because this year is 2024. It's an even year. But if these patterns do return and happen again, we're looking at possibly seeing a lyrical etude from 2018, which would be number 30, or we could see technical etudes return to us from 2015, which would be numbers 11 or 33. So let's take a brief look at these etudes and see what may come to pass this July. Okay. All right, so let's dig in to some of these etudes here. Going in order as they appear in the book, number 11 is our D major by Siegfried Kargelaer, opus 107, number 5. It's written in 4/4 time, 2 sharps, of course, and the tempo marking is allegro gusto or giusto, which means either a strict allegro or a moderate allegro, neither too fast nor too slow, which in my study, in my research, I have picked to be about 120 beats per minute, just to keep it sounding really bright and exciting. So looking at this etude, this is one of the etudes from 2015, from 9 years ago, which was the less frequent pattern. It only happened once. There was only one etude in the 10 years of etudes that I looked at that were repeated on a 9-year basis. So I'm feeling less confident that this could be one of the picks for this year's etudes. This one, and I believe, let me look, I'm looking at my book here. 33, number 33 was the other technical etude from 9 years ago that might show up, but it's possible. It's possible, so it's worth looking at. And this one's very fun. It's not like the third etude this past fall. The that one was just an exercise in patience, personally. But this one's fun. This one is pretty. It has its moments. It has interesting development. It has little key changes that are actually followable and pretty easy to diagnose. So hoping for this one. Excited about this one. And the chunks that I have labeled in my part are pretty good digestible chunks to take when studying. But let's move forward. Let's take a look at number 30, which I believe is the lyrical etude, which I feel more confident in in predicting this, other than the fact that 2024 is an even numbered year, and it's been, oh, Amber Alert. Go away. I hear you. Little prayer for whoever's child that is. So number 30, I feel more confident in my prediction that this could be one of the etudes this year, because lyrical etudes have shown up twice in the past 3 years as a 6-year rotation. So this piece was on the list 6 years ago. The only notch or nick in my system is that 2021 and 2023 were years where we saw a 6-year-old etude come back. And it's 2024. It's an even year, but we'll see. And this is a great one. It's one that might sound familiar from your middle school etudes, because it is a transposition of a very commonly assigned middle school etude. If that sounds familiar, it's the Anderson Opus 33, number 14. But this one's in D sharp minor. Relative major is F sharp major with the 6 sharps. Yeah. So that's the main challenge. The main challenge is that it's been simply transposed into this sharp, heavy key. So what you have is double sharps. What you have is the pre-existing challenge of this piece, which is switching between duple and triple meter, because you have dotted 8/16, and then 2 beats later you have triplet, 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 and then you have a dotted quarter, which is in duple. Tap that foot, man. Tap that foot, because you're going to need it. Grace notes on some of these figures. But this one is fairly easily digestible if you are familiar with the original. If you're not familiar with the original, you're tackling all of it at once. So I'm really sorry if you did not experience this etude before in a different key, in a more friendly key. So I believe this etude is, I believe it's in the Voxman Selected Studies book for flute, which is frequently referenced for middle school etudes, but to be hard enough, to be challenging enough for the Mary Karen Clarity, we just had to add some sharps. Yay! So that's pretty much on that. Subdivide and clear up those double sharps. So double sharps means that it is sharped twice. It means that the note is raised 2 half steps. If you're good with your chromatic scale, this should be a breeze. So we have a lot of C sharps, which would be the same as a D natural. We have a lot of G double sharps, which would be the same as a natural and A natural. We have, and then they show up in both octaves. And I think that's the majority of them. There is a D double sharp in measure 13, which of course would be an E natural and harmonic. And then most of them are C double sharps and G double sharps. And that's just how it comes up. That's just how it came up. The only confusing marking in here is the natural sign, then the sharp sign that precedes a C in full measure 1, and then in measure 29, 27, 28, 29, yes. It comes up a few times. So it's basically, there was a C double sharp, and then whenever you come down, it's this figure that repeats. No. B is natural. Okay. So that figure, they raised the C to a D, to a C double sharp, going up, but then they wanted to flat it coming down. They wanted to make it natural coming down. So that natural sharp, then the note, means that they are canceling out one of the double sharps, one of the sharps, so that it's only single sharped now. It is kind of confusing. I feel like they could have done it with just the single sharp, but that's them trying to be more clear. So you have a natural and a sharp sign preceding that C, because they are wanting to take away one of the sharps, coming down. And so that's that on that piece. You've got your little arpeggio deal in measure 22. You got that descending, like a flourish that comes back up. And I would say just take it slow, speed it up, be expressive with it. And then you hit that trill. You're trilling your G double sharp, which is an A, to the next neighboring tone, which is an A sharp, which is the same as B flat. So you're just doing a little half step trill there. And you decrescendo into that. So just kind of take your time, be expressive. You've got a fermata there. You've got a fermata before the big run. So just take your time, be expressive. All right, and then the last one I have a prediction about, which kind of goes in with number 11. I'm less confident about that prediction because that was a 9-year-old etude, and we only saw a 9-year repetition once, whereas we saw a 6-year repetition on lyrical twice. So number 33, D flat major by Joachim Anderson. Not sure if I'm saying that correctly, his first name. Opus 33, number 15. Was it the same number? No, 33, number 14 was the last one. So D flat major. And y'all, this one does not look very crazy. Allegro ma non troppo, fast but not too much. 100 beats per minute. 100 beats per minute. You got 16th notes. Constant 16th notes. You got like an 8th note every once in a while. No, not even every once in a while, twice. You have 2 8th notes that are cadences. It's not that crazy. It doesn't look that crazy. So I feel like the number 11 might be more likely as a technical because it's faster. And then this one, you have to be honest and you have to have integrity about your tempo markings for number 11 to be as challenging at it as it is. Whatever it was. So it has to be blazing fast. But this one's like, sure, you've got some big leaps, you've got some accidentals. There's things that you're gonna have to study and iron out that aren't just sight readable, but it's fine. You got some double flats, so take the note, lower it by 2 half steps. So B double flat would be an A, and that's in measure 21. Got a little chromatic bit at the end there. I just don't think this one looks all that scary. So, and the scary thing about number 11 is the speed in some of the big leaps, articulations in number 11. So these, if one of these winds up being a technical etude this fall, I think we're gonna be in good shape. But it's that lyrical one which is more likely because 6-year repetition happened twice in the past few years. But yeah, those are my predictions. Let's see what comes to pass. And give me a like and subscribe, and I'll bet you one of these is on the list. If you're willing to bet me, DM me or something on Instagram and we'll talk about our terms of the bet. But I am willing to bet one of these 3 will show up. I'm not saying which one, just that one of them will. At least I'm really hoping. But those are my predictions. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all later.